Cubans fleeing their homeland and being housed on Guantanamo.
Vamos por atrás, por atrás. Por atrás. ¡Viva, cojones! ¡Dale! Suave, suave. ¡Viva! Es mejor perdernos en el mar que seguir pasando hambre, miseria, necesidad. Y además nosotros creemos que tenemos la necesidad de ir a buscar la libertad, el futuro de todos los cubanos. Que vamos hacia allá. Hoy 23 de agosto de 1994 me decido a viajar hacia los Estados Unidos, a cualquier país menos quedarme aquí. Estoy dispuesto a eso, o si me mandan para la base, de la base trato de emigrar para Estados Unidos, para cualquier país menos aquí, porque esto no hay quien lo resista aquí. Ellos son cinco amigos que van a salir de reparto, llevan 45 litros de agua, 20 panes, 50 panes y unos pomos de refresco, llevan gravinol, aspirina y las medicinas que se han podido conseguir.
Today, I have ordered that illegal refugees from Cuba will not be allowed to enter the United States. Refugees rescued at sea will be taken to our naval base at Guantanamo.
Aunque me envíen a Guantánamo, yo me voy a sentir mucho mejor.
Es preferible estar en la base naval de Guantánamo que estar aquí en Cuba.
Now it looks like a homemade draft. We've got about 12 POB, and they're all waving. Don't see anybody in extremis. They all look in pretty good shape. Another 10 people. I got one guy that's laying down in the boat.
Cubans that are being picked up at sea are not being brought to the United States.
We have, as of today, facilities for more than 23,000 refugees in these two camps, the Haitian and the Cuban camp. By the end of the week, we will have facilities for 30,000, and by the end of next week, we'll have facilities for 40,000.
Hemos protestado de que un territorio cubano, usurpado ilegalmente como se conoce, esté siendo utilizado como un gigantesco campo de concentración.
We are making provisions to maintain them indefinitely in Guantanamo. We certainly hope we will not have to maintain them for that long a period of time, but we have the physical provisions for and are planning for an indefinite stay.
The psychology of people who live in refugee camps is that after a period of time, they get extremely hostile.
Nosotros nos tiramos a mar a jugarla. No sabíamos que está en estas condiciones. Hay mujeres con niños. Nosotros no salimos de un campo de concentración para ir a otros países por ahí.
I got here on the 12th of October of '94, and I worked with World Relief until late September of this year of '95. When I got here, the situation between the military and the Cubans was not nearly as good as it is today, and I think a lot of that is due to miscommunication, to the lack of language ability on the part of the military, and also to the lack of cultural awareness on the part of the military, although they did have some Spanish speakers, but there were few. What we did when we got here primarily was go into the camps and talk to the Cubans and assess their needs, and then inform the military as to what those needs really were, and basically advocate for changes in the camp situation. The situation was particularly difficult because the living conditions were difficult for the Cubans, and there was a lot of uncertainty regarding their status, or whether or not they're going to the United States, or whether they would be held here indefinitely.
Me siento un poco mal, un poco triste porque pensando en mis familiares de Cuba y eso, y la situación que tenemos aquí, no pensábamos que iba a ser así, pensábamos que iba a ser distinta, pero bueno, nos tocó caer aquí en este lugar y esperar a ver lo que decide el gobierno de los Estados Unidos con nosotros.
Esto ha sido de madre, nunca me imaginé que esto fuera así. Esto está lleno de polvo, fango, está terrible esto y sobre todo no sabemos qué va a ser de nosotros.
I think that the major problems that the Cubans encountered and that we, World Relief, helped them with were primarily education. I think when I got here in October, there was some adult education, some children's education going on, but it was very, very sporadic and it wasn't centralized at all, it wasn't organized. World Relief managed to organize, especially adult education program, into the English second language program and vocational education programs with computers and etc., and basically start a resettlement atmosphere into the education program. Also, the medical care here has been sporadic also. So World Relief, the public health program, was able to go inside the camps and advocate for individual cases that needed help or had fallen through the cracks of the medical system and advocate for better treatment of the Cubans and the Haitians as well. Also, we had, especially before 2 May, a lot of the people in the camps were very anxious and they had a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. We had the social services team went in there and counseled people individually, and they also provided group counseling for different types of groups, that from anywhere from teenagers to people over 70 or whatever the need, maybe women. So that was also a very useful part of what we did.
World Relief ha servido como un intermediario entre los militares y el personal refugiado. Ha sido el que se ha encargado de decirles a ellos qué sentimos, qué necesitamos, cuál es nuestra forma de pensar. Muchas personas de World Relief, la gran mayoría, hablan español, inclusive son cubanos, y eso ha contribuido bastante a una distensión de posiciones entre nosotros, entre los militares y los refugiados.
World Relief es quien lleva el control de todos esos cursos, aparte principalmente lo del Centro de la Mujer. Se nos impartió clases de tránsito, de computación y de inglés. Y eso, quien los controla es World Relief.
Ha sido una institución que realmente merece el respeto y el cariño de todos los balseros, porque realmente es una institución que se ha preocupado por nosotros en todos los aspectos nuestros, desde la correspondencia hasta la educación.
On December 7, 1994, that's when we inaugurated the actual mail service here in Guantanamo Bay. That's when World Relief Corporation did a contract with the Department of State, and we took over the responsibility of taking care of all the mail for the Cubans, and the military just, they stopped doing the service, and that's when World Relief came in and they started organizing the whole entire scenario.
Fernández, Tomás González, Tomás Valdés, ya esto es así.
No, nadie vino carta, Mari. No. Hace 3 semanas que no recibo cartica.
It's close to like 60 to 70 different volunteer Cubans that come here and they work for World Relief in the sense of organizing all the mail and stuff.
En realidad, la esencia del trabajo no está en que seamos remunerados o no, sino en la relación que existe entre nosotros y World Relief y las cosas que hemos venido aprendiendo, cosas nuevas para nosotros y muchas cosas que ellos nos han enseñado, no solamente en el trabajo, sino en el plano personal.
Me gusta trabajar, me gusta conocer formas de trabajo. Aparte de eso, sales un poco del medio ambiente del campo, de lo que es la rutina del campo, y te entretiene, conoces y te instruye para un futuro en los Estados Unidos.
Me siento muy contento, las cartas siempre le dan mucho ánimo a uno.
We enable the Cuban and the Haitians to be able to get in touch with their family through the mail by sending mail back to Cuba or to Miami or wherever in the U.S. their family may be. And that is probably the only lifeline the Cubans have here in Guantanamo Bay, the only means of communication with the outside world. The public health team, basically, we work to improve the basic health standards of the Cubans and the Haitians in the camps. Through health education, we work with the military medical teams to make sure that the Cubans are healthy and that they know how to stay healthy.
Las consultas en el médico, ¿cómo están?
There's a lot of professionals in the camps, Cubans that were either doctors, nurses, medical assistants, and we've used those people to form a community health program. And there's about 60 community health workers that are Cuban that work in the camps and provide health care to the Cubans. It's very basic health care, and they also provide health education.
Yo tengo una pregunta, porque en otros campamentos ha surgido mucho que la gente se está intoxicando y se están dando ronchas en la piel por dejar la comida afuera.
Aside from working with the Cuban professionals, we also have programs to try to help them once they get to the United States. Although they were doctors and nurses in Cuba, when they get to the States, they'll probably have to start off at a very entry-level position. So we've been teaching them basic medical terminology, how to become a medical assistant in the United States, what the exam might be like, so they can assimilate better when they get there, and not to have too high expectations of being a doctor immediately when they arrive.
Principalmente quisiera, doctor, que usted nos tocara el tema de en los Estados Unidos, que es la sociedad que nos espera y todos queremos ir hacia allá.
We do a tremendous amount of health education. We've been doing a lot of HIV, AIDS awareness, STDs also, and in addition we've started to focus on alcohol and drug abuse and some problems that they may face when they reach the United States. The public health staff consists of 10 people. They range from nurses to people with master's degrees, nutritionists, and then we also have 4 translators that we use as community liaisons. And they're in the camps. They constantly meet with the Cubans to do any troubleshooting and just to make sure that our programs run smoothly.
A nosotros estamos muy satisfechos del trabajo de todos ustedes.
Bueno.
Y le estamos muy agradecidos.
Y muchísima suerte, todo le va a ir muy bien, créame.
We're doing what is called a Transition Preparation for the United States seminar. It's a series of presentations about various topics in the United States, things that they will have to adjust to when they get there. Tonight we're doing, the first one was education in the United States. Most of these guys are adults, so, or all of them are adults. How to get their credit for their diploma that they earned in Cuba, how to, what they have to do, what sort of follow-up education they'll have to do to get accredited or to get some sort of certification in